Mind reading present.
10 subtle signs you're dating a covert narcissist.
When someone mentions narcissists, what comes to mind? A lot of us imagine an evil person, snickering at the pain of their victims. Or perhaps you envision a completely stricken-faced person, devoid of empathy. Another dimension of narcissism that changed the way I looked and dealt with them was emotional immaturity. In covert narcissists, this is the main thing you want to look for. Because a lot of their traits, as the label suggests, are covert. To add a healthy dose of nuance to your dating life, here are 10 subtle signs you're dating a covert narcissist. 1. They see you as an extension of themselves. In the eyes of a covert narcissist, you are not an independent individual. This is where my statement regarding how narcissism is often emotional immaturity comes in, as well as why I believe the word narcissism is passed around so frequently. A lot of young people get into relationships with a certain idea of love in mind, one where they believe their partner can change or save them. Blame the media or generational curses. The point is that these ideas are so prevalent in our culture today, without people realizing that they are trying to recreate their fantasies instead of co-creating stability with their partner. They then end up giving poor relationship advice, the type that end up on Instagram, for more impressionable young adults to use in order to have the perfect relationship, instead of getting to know themselves. And while I do agree that love has an eye-opening effect, if it is in the name of having something that you cannot fathom embodying yourself, it's rooted in fear. This is how a lot of people end up in relationships with covert narcissists that expect you to prioritize their needs and desires over their own. 2. They project their ideals and insecurities onto you. In an effort to mold you into their ideal partner, or perhaps their ideal self, covert narcissists project their own standards, expectations, and beliefs onto you. They may pressure you to conform to societal or their own pressures in order to avoid that feeling of shame that you'll have to regulate. This includes frequently accusing you of infidelity or other acts that condemn your morals and values. On the other hand, they may criticize your appearance, abilities, or behaviors as a way to deflect their own feelings of inadequacy. 3. They are highly critical of themselves and you. Covert narcissists often exhibit a consistent pattern of criticism, not only towards you but mainly themselves. This may extend to nitpicking your achievements, questioning your abilities, and undermining your self-esteem. Or even more covertly, they may be a perfectionist who has never heard of a day off, and they will never be satisfied with anything. And because of this, you might find yourself constantly offering them emotional support with none of it being reciprocated. It will feel like you are playing the part of a parent more than a partner, a lonesome cheerleader with no team. Bringing this up or any other concerns will be a huge stressor in your life, because what always ends up happening is them playing the victim. 4. They play the victim. One of the hallmark behaviors of covert narcissism is a victim mentality. That negativity stems from always feeling like the world has it out for them. They'll have a knack for portraying themselves as a wounded soldier in various situations, for example, exaggerating minor inconveniences and setbacks, whether to gain sympathy or perhaps just make themselves feel better. People who think this way lack convictions and accountability. In the case of your relationship, they might have never-ending excuses for their poor behavior, resulting in you feeling depleted from having your empathy and positivity taken advantage of. 5. They have a sense of entitlement. A lot of narcissists believe they are entitled to special treatment and unwavering admiration. This is where a lot of people tend to mistake confidence and narcissism. The difference between the two is a willingness to work for the things they desire. In addition, people who are genuinely confident in their abilities won't view their setbacks as failures. This sentiment is true for your relationships, meaning someone who is a covert narcissist will expect you to be giving and generous without wanting to reciprocate, while a confident person will have healthy standards and boundaries that they themselves can live up to. Entitlement will also be displayed in their lack of respect for your possessions and resources. Not only is it hard to say no, but you won't necessarily have a chance to. 6. They are emotionally manipulative. Emotional manipulation is a certain set of skills that covert narcissists use to control and influence those around them, especially in romantic relationships, because that's where a lot of emotions are invested. Manipulative people may guilt trip you into giving them things, be passive-aggressive to keep you on edge, or emotionally blackmail you to take blame for something on their behalf. This is a sign that they aren't mature enough to communicate their needs and receive affection in a healthy and fair way. What ends up happening is that you will feel responsible for their happiness and well-being, and in the long run, you will become isolated from the rest of the world. 7. They isolate you. Covert narcissists subtly will reduce your support network in order to make you more dependent on them, as your standards for what love and affection are supposed to be dwindle down. It's common to become isolated from your other loved ones. For example, they might start to nitpick at what your friends did in order to make you feel like they don't love you at all. Or they might be reluctant to hang out in group settings and act fussy every time you do, wanting to leave and not engaging with any of your loved ones. Keep an eye out for when they feel threatened by your other connections. That is when they will guilt trip you the most. It's their way of maintaining their control over you, but also their sense of self. 8. They only act affectionate when they need something. Being affectionate only on their terms is another sign that you are with a covert narcissist. It's one of those things that's really hard to tell unless you have a good sense of self and know that you are deserving of consistency, but nonetheless, no one should be taking advantage of your soft spots or blind spots, especially not in an intimate relationship. They may shower you with affection when they want something from you, but then withdraw when their needs are met. This hot and cold energy can be confusing and hurtful when you're on the receiving end. Although it is covert, you will feel like you're walking on eggshells. Eventually, you'll become even more attached to their unreliable moods in an attempt to control their affections. 9. Their actions are contradicting. Contradictions and narcissism go hand in hand. Covertly, it will be something that is noticeable to you the most, because they will have mastered the art of playing the part of a good partner in everyone else's eyes. This includes inconsistencies in their promises, statements, and intentions, making it difficult for you to feel safe in the relationship. Depending on your relationship to yourself, you might feel the need to stay in the relationship, which will erode your sense of confidence over time. Personally, I found myself having a really hard time setting boundaries in other areas of my life because of covert narcissistic partners, and in turn, it affected the way I kept myself accountable because of what I allowed in other areas of my life. 10. They use your vulnerabilities against you. This is where their lack of empathy and emotional intelligence really shine through, usually under the guise of caring. They will exacerbate your pre-existing self-doubt or insecurities. For example, using your mental illness to undermine your sanity, and especially when you question their behavior or show a sense of autonomy. This includes saying things like, "Are you still taking your medication?" or "Are you manic?" Their goal here is to make you feel incompetent, to keep themselves from being kept accountable, as well as keep you reliant on their judgments. It's a difficult position to be in, because it's hard to catch in the moment. But the truth is that someone who truly loves you would take your concerns seriously. They'd know better than to act like a professional psychologist, and have the empathy to know that your weaknesses don't make you lesser than them. Alright, guys. It's been quite a journey exploring the subtle signs of covert narcissism in relationships. I hope you found this video insightful, and that it helps you navigate the complexities of dating. Remember, knowledge is power, and being aware of these signs can be a game changer. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with our latest content. Share your thoughts and experiences In the comments below, let's create a supportive community where we can learn from each other. Thanks for watching.